call vote has been requested and it will be granted. I will explain what we're voting on again. So if you would like to remove all the ELAR Bluebonnet components from the list of approved materials, you should vote yes. Yes equals removal from the list. If you would like to leave it on.
What you're listening to is the minutia of a Texas school board considering whether to vote to make sure that Bible-infused teachings are in classrooms in the state of Texas, in elementary schools there. Well, some movement happened after what we just played, and here's your headline. Members voted 8-7 in favor of the new curriculum after hearing hours of impassioned pleas from supporters and critics earlier this week. The decision set to possibly impact more than 5 million students across the state of Texas. Some people arguing that, yes, we want Bible-based teachings in the classrooms. Others saying, what about Muslim students, Buddhist students, and students who do not come from cultures or backgrounds where the Bible is taught in their homes? But it looks like now that is going through in the state of Texas. CBS News correspondent Jason Allen is on the ground in Irving, Texas. He's been speaking to parents both in support and proposal, like we just talked about. So what went down in that vote? It sounded like it was complicated there at the last minute.
It was, and the reason for that, Reed, is the people who are opposed to this, the members of the state board that didn't want this curriculum in, they were trying everything they could do to maybe pull 1 or 2 votes over to their side. So they were trying to separate out these issues, right? The math portion of the curriculum from the portion that's the English, the language, the arts, and the reading, the portion that contains some of those Bible stories and lessons. They thought maybe we can vote on these separately, we can vote down that, but it didn't happen that way. This stayed with an 8-7 vote. So that's what was going on. It was a very civil process. There's been a lot of emotion in the debate leading up to this. So it was a very civil parliamentary process. But the end result of it is this will be on the approved list of curriculums that schools across the state can choose from.
There's also the flip side, and I've seen some chatter about this. Okay, so what if a Buddhist group wants to have their scripture taught in classroom? What if a Muslim student wants their scripture taught in classrooms? Does this make the way for those students to have a voice there in a classroom as well, where the Bible is now going to be mandated as being part of the classroom curriculum?
That's been some of the book of the opposition to this. Is a lot of people on the Board of Education that were against it felt like some of those students might be left out. Maybe they would feel just alienated in schools. Maybe they've even suggested they might feel bullied by it. Now, on the other side of that, the proponents of this curriculum never felt like it's going that far, that these lessons, these stories are kind of these all-encompassing human values. They're tied into things that other religions kind of have, and that doing it from a Christian standpoint and point of view connects back more to the founding fathers of the nation. They said that's the reason for the inclusion. But even today, some board members suggested maybe it even leaves the state open to legal action. That was one board member's concern, and we'll see the result of this in the months to come.
Yeah, state schools, state money, and then the larger conversation, separation of church and state in these United States. Do you foresee any litigation coming out of this?
It's possible, as I mentioned, that's the concern of one of the members of the Board of Education. Keep in mind, schools don't have to use this. It's up to schools and school districts what curriculum that they want. Now, there's a little bit of an incentive with this. Because it's on an approved list, there's it's a total of $60. It's divided into 2 portions, $40 and $20, that schools will get. Some of that goes toward printing some of the materials. Some of it's just some extra incentive to use the curriculum. Of course, in the state of Texas and really across the nation, school districts are extremely tight on their budgets right now. It's very possible some schools look at that and say we want to use it, but at the end of the day, it is up to schools whether they want to do it or not.
All right, stay with us because we now have that moment that we want to play for our viewers when the vote went through. We just want to let our viewers hear it.
8 yes, 7 no.
8-7, the motion passes. Bluebonnet will be added to the approved list.
So now hearing that, it is now set in stone, so to speak. What is next for a student in the state of Texas? When can they start seeing this?
So this goes on to the approved list now. It'll be available for schools to use in the 25 and 26 school year. Now, there are all kinds of curriculums that they can choose from. There are other things that are on the approved listings they were voting on today. Obviously, with this one, it does include those Bible lessons. So it's possible this could be in some elementary school classrooms when they go back to school next August.
All right. Thank you so much for that live report out of the Lone Star State. Good to see you once again on CBS News 24/7, my friend.